In this video, we will go over the tools which are mentioned in the menu Additions, or the editing tools. Depending on your package or engine, if you have the gold or the diamond, you have certain functions. Let me start here with the second one, add a remedy. And the next ones are related to it. That's if you want to change an addition you already made, a remedy addition, or you want to remove a remedy addition. So add a remedy. So let's go to this symptom here. Face, inflammation, mouth, corners of mouth, with 2 remedies. Let's say you read somewhere or you heard on a seminar a certain remedy being mentioned for this symptom. Then you can go to the menu Additions, add a remedy, and let's say it's sulfuric acid, and I select, let's say, degree 3, and let's say I read it in the Allen Encyclopedia, that's number A1. Here is also if it's a human or veterinary, and if it's a veterinary edition, you also need to select the animal category. So if it's a dog or a bird or whatever. So let's select here a human edition, and I'm ready, and I click here OK. And you see here that sulfuric acid has been added, and the N indicates it's your personal addition. It's a new addition. It's a new remedy, something you added with A1. And after the addition has been made, the authors has been switched on automatically, and you can switch them off again here with this icon. And let's say you also read it in another book. So let's say you read it in Roger Morrison Desktop Guide. Then you can add also a second author reference. You can do that here with a right mouse click on the remedy, and then from the menu add an author reference to the current remedy. Then I select here Morrison, and I select the desktop guide. So it's always best not to select only the author, but an exact reference. So I add here by clicking on this button. Then I close the window, and you will see that a second author has been added. So we have discussed here those 3 options. Add a remedy and modify the degree is logic, and remove a remedy also, but I can show you. I click on modify, and then if I want to change it back to a degree 2, then I say OK, and you see that the degree has been changed to a second. Now let's go back here to additions, and we go to the first one. That is add a remedy including source information. That means you add a remedy including a link to the original text in the Materia Medica. So let's search for an exact example. Let me go to, for example, here, face Hippocratic. Enter, enter. Okay, this rubric or this symptom, I use both rubric and symptom with the same meaning. And let me switch off authors for a moment. So these are 59 remedies. So let me do a search in the Materia Medica, if I can find a good example. So let's search for Hippocratic face. Hippocratic face. And I can search through all my documents, or if you want, we search only through all references. So here's the result. let me see. I take, for example, here Blackwood. This one is from Agaricus. The next one's Camphora. Okay, let's take this one. It's the most important remedy in retrocession of measles and scarlatina when the face is pale, cold, hypocratic, the child is restless and will not tolerate any covers. So it's hypocratic face in a child. So let me double click here on this symptom, and then I will go to the Materia Medica text itself. So now we are here in the search result, but if I double click, we open here the Blackwood Manual of Materia Medica in a tab, and this is the symptom. So it is a most important remedy in the retrocession of measles, scarlatina, etc. So let me look here in synthesis, and I see Camphora is already there, but still I can add it as a link. So let me open here the authors, and you see it is from the original Kent and from BR01. I think that's Burger Repertory. Let me check. That's the Repertory of Burger. Okay, I can still add a link here. I go here again to this symptom. So the hand is pointing to this symptom. Then from the menu Additions, I say Add a remedy including source information. It's also on Windows Ctrl F7 or on Mac Command F7. I click on it. The program asks if I really want to use that. I say yes. Then I go back to the synthesis. It switches automatically, and I use again Additions, Add remedy including source information. And you will see here that an extra author has been added with an N, and the N indicates new. It's your personal edition. So let's close here this Materia Medica. Let's close here my search. Now I'm looking at this rubric. I see with the underlining that there is a link to an original source. I double click on it. Here I see the text of the original source. It's a most important remedy in retrocession of measles, etc. If I want to go to that symptom in the original source, I just double click on it, and there I am. So this is the symptom. It's a most important remedy in retrocession, and you see that this symptom, the above symptom, is linked to the repertory. So even if I close here the repertory, and let me close this here. So even if I have everything closed and I click on this link, it will open the synthesis and it will go to that rubric in the repertory. So there I am. So these two are now linked together. Now the remedy Camphora was already present here in this rubric. But the symptom was specific for children. So let me put the hand in front of in children. Now you see that Camphora is not mentioned here in this rubric. And that link should be still in memory. So if I use again Additions, Add remedy including source information, it will add here Camphora to this rubric, and here it is. So it has added the remedy Camphora with that Materia Medica source link in this symptom. So let's see if we can add another source link. So let me do a search. Hippocratic face, and let me select something else. Let me see here. Let me do actually child. So let's see. Blackwood we already had. Let me see hearing. Okay, I double click here on this search result, on this symptom. It goes to the hearing guiding symptoms, and the hand is now pointing to that symptom. I select again additions, add remedy including source information, but you can also do here with a right mouse click and use add remedy including source information. I confirm, yes, this is the correct symptom. I switch here to synthesis and I use here again add remedy including source information, or you could have also done again right mouse click. And you see there are now two links. If I double click here on this one, I see here the link, I double click on it and I go to the materia medica, to the location of that symptom. Let's go now to additions, add a symptom level below the current symptom. It means you want to insert a new symptom. And you do that below the position where the hand indicator is pointing. That can be on any level, a main rubric or a sub-rubric or sub-sub-rubric. So let's find an example. Here in the guiding symptoms, I was reading after a fright with fear, convulsions or hot head with twitching about the mouth, around the mouth. So after a fright. Here in synthesis, I see the symptom face twitching mouth and around the mouth. But I don't see after a fright. Now, opium is here in this symptom, but let's say you want to make a sub-level, so between around and corners, you want to insert a sub-level after a fright. I go to additions, add a symptom level below the current symptom. Then I select here as a sub-rubric. Yes, this is the correct position. It's between around and corners and it's a sub-level. So I say fright, semicolon, after A. Now be sure when you start to make additions that you familiarize yourself with the format of the symptoms, so how the symptoms are written in synthesis, and the structure. You can view the document more information. Let me go to it. So here is a PowerPoint slide which shows the structure or the order of the synthesis repertory. So here is the chapter, and then there are 5 categories: the sites, the times, the modalities, which include the description of pain, so aching, boring, stitching, which are always mentioned as the last level of the full symptom path. And then you have extending to and locations. Now this order repeats itself on each level. So let's look here in this modalities. There you have sites, times, modalities, extending to, and locations. And accompanied by is located in the section of modalities, and alphabetically it will be one of the first. Now about the format. The main rubrics are in all uppercase. So sites, times, modalities, extending to, locations are all uppercase if they are main symptoms. Then a sub-level, the sub-rubrics are all lowercase. So sites, times, modalities, extending to, locations, except the location rubrics, the anatomical locations. These start with the first letter in uppercase. And also in the extending to, when there are mentioned the locations, these start with one uppercase letter. And the symptom format is as follows. Make sure you have the leading word at the first position. Then if it's a longer sentence which starts to read, for example here, you have a semicolon and then you type where you need to start to read. So here, of business failure, and here's the semicolon. So make sure you read this document, especially if you want to share your additions with your colleagues. In Synthesis Adonis, there's also a personal chapter in which you can add your symptoms more freely on the fly, and you do not need to take care so much about the structure and the format. So we're back here in the synthesis. After I checked if the symptom format is correct and the order in the repertory is correct, I say yes, I checked this, I confirm, okay, and that symptom will be added. So here it is, after a fright. And now I can add the remedy opium. So I can just add only the remedy. With a right mouse click on the symptom, I say additions, and then I say add remedy, or from the menu bar additions, add remedy. Okay, let me select the opium. Then let me do a degree. So let's do 2. And it was in the hearing, I think. I read it in the hearing, guiding symptoms. And I say OK. And you see here the remedy opium has been added with this author reference hearing guiding symptoms. Let's go back to the menu additions. And the next one is add a cross-reference. So let's add a cross-reference to this symptom. So after a fright, I select here additions, add a cross-reference, and then I can select to which symptom it should point. So I type here mind ailments from fright, enter, yes, that's the one I select, so I can press enter or click here on select. I confirm, yes, this is correct. And you see that the cross-reference has been added. So if I double click on that cross-reference, I will jump to that symptom. So here it is. The next menu option here in additions is refer the current symptom to another symptom. That's related to synonym rubrics. Now this you need to do in 2 steps. Let me first show you what it is. So I'm here at abandoned. It has no remedies and it refers to see forsaken feeling. The same with abashed, that's also a synonym rubric, or in RadarOpus it's called a referring symptom. So it points to another symptom. You can create such a symptom in 2 steps. First, you need to create a new symptom, and then you use the menu item refer that symptom to another symptom. Let's say you need a reminder that for jet lag you can look up general's loss of sleep. First we go to mind, GE, and I see jesting is alphabetically the last one, and jet lag should be then between jesting and jewelry. Okay, let's go to jesting. Then you say additions, add a symptom level. And I select here at the same level. So jet lag will be between jesting and jewelry. So I type jet lag and all in capitals. And yes, I checked it. Okay. And here it's inserted. So I have here now a new symptom without any remedies yet, and I want to use this as a synonym which points to another symptom. Then I say here additions, refer the current symptom to another symptom. I say yes, I want to continue, and I select, for example, here generals, sleep, loss of sleep, ailments from loss of sleep. Yes, I confirm it. And the referring symptom now has been added. So I've inserted here a new symptom. I do not add any remedies, and then I use the option refer the current symptom to another symptom. So in fact this is a synonym pointing to another symptom. So let's go back to additions. What else do we have? We have here add or modify symptom note. So you can add a general symptom note, or you can add a veterinary note. Let me just do here the symptom note. I click on it. I can add some text, personal text, say OK. And a small icon has been added here. Let's go again to additions. And then you have here export additions. Now with export additions, you can export all or just a selection. So first you need to select from which repertoire you want to export. And then you can do any selection, for example, only for a certain remedy.